it's a completely ridiculous economic policy, but I would have said that yesterday.
Well, in some ways, I'm not surprised because the president likes to keep people on their toes, keep countries guessing as to what is likely to happen next. It's also putting pressure on those countries that have yet to sign a trade agreement that there will be consequences if they don't.
It was expected because he said he was going to do it on August 1st and sent out various notices to his social media platform to that effect. So, in that sense, it's not a surprise. But I suppose a lot of people hoped that he would delay. He delayed the actual implementation until August 7th. So, some countries will probably come in and do deals with him and get slightly lower rates than the ones he announced today. Um, but it's not a 30-day delay. So I think for most countries, these are the rates. And for most countries, the flat rate is 15%.
Well, I think what is likely to happen because of the additional tariffs combined with the much weaker than anticipated employment report that August once again will likely post a decline for the S&P 500.
It'll mainly affect US trade, and it will increase the price on an average basis when these are fully implemented, and that takes time. But they will increase the average price of imports purchased by Americans by probably around 15%. That's a pretty big increase, and that will show up in inflation later this year. Certainly by October, November, we'll see it in the consumer prices. I think the U.S. economy is slowing down anyway, because a lot of households are heavily indebted, and the business investment. I know that Trump announces all these deals, but in fact, business investment has not been good in the first half of the year because many firms they don't know what's going to happen next, so they delay. So I think we're headed for a slower period of economic growth and maybe even some drop, some small, a little bit of recession. Not a big recession, but a small recession.
Well, the global trade as a result of these tariffs will likely end up slowing down. Yes, inflation will pick up initially, but then on a year-over-year basis will not continue to climb. But it will likely put pressure on the U.S. consumer, which represents about 70% of our economy, and could end up representing additional pressure on the global economy. So this year, we are anticipating about a 1.9% rise in real GDP and a similar number for 2026. But 2026's forecast obviously is subject to revision.
American consumers are going to pay. My expectation is that most countries will say it doesn't make sense for us to retaliate because if we retaliate against the US, that hurts our own consumer, our own industry. So I'm expecting that the tariffs we see now will more or less be the pathway for the next several months until Trump gets another brainstorm.
The outlook for the tariffs is that it's really more of a negotiating ploy. They want to get the other countries to sign an agreement. But knowing the president, even if those agreements are signed, if he changes his mind, he will push to do so. I mean, if you take a look at the USMCA, the trade agreement with Mexico and Canada that he signed in his first term, obviously that was thrown out the window based on his decision, not Canada or Mexico's decision. So who's to say whether what is agreed now will be in agreement for the remainder of his term in office?